You just be a prop. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly. But I have to stop this really quick. I don't want anyone to like see that. Okay. Yes, they do. It's seriously like the whole. Okay, I'm gonna quickly change the like tag Vonnie in this, tag both of you, and then I'm gonna kick it off. Okay, I'll kick it off now. Hi everyone, welcome to Gentle Yoga with Avanda. We have Allie in the house as well, and we're all gathered here today, as you know, to support Habitat for Humanity and their COVID-19 response efforts. So all of the money donated to this fundraiser today will benefit home stability in the wake of COVID-19. And you can donate using the links that you see in this video. And you can just join us in this luxurious yoga class by beautiful Avanda. And Avanda can elaborate if you can take it away now.
And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly begin to blink them open. And then come into a seat, bringing the soles of your feet to the floor. And we'll take some seated cat and cow. And with your hands, you can clasp them and then bring them behind your neck and bring your elbows out wide. So when you inhale, pull your chest forward, arch your lower back, and look up towards the ceiling. And bring your elbows closer to the back of the wall. And then exhale, bring your elbows closer to in your head, bring your navel to your spine, and look in between your legs, rounding your spine, coming into cat pose. Inhale, pull your chest forward, arch your lower back, look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, close your elbows, drop your head, and look in between your legs. You can take these cat and cow postures for a few more rounds of breath. Okay, when you finish up, you can meet me in a tabletop position. And if you need an extra cushion, you can bring your blanket and put your knees on top of it. Make sure that your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders and that your knees are stacked underneath your hips. And we'll take some modified sun salutations here, since this is a gentle yoga class, so we won't be standing. Extend your right foot behind you, pressing to the back of your heel, and then place it in between your hands. Raise your hands up towards the ceiling, and then bring your palms together and come into a slight back bend here, bringing your hands out of your peripheral vision. Bring your hands back up to the ceiling, and then bring your hands to your hips. Raise your left hand and bend over to the right side of your body. Rotate your torso up towards the ceiling and feel a nice long line of energy from your shoulder all the way up through your fingertips. And then you can switch hands. Bring your right hand up towards the ceiling and bend over to the left side. Rotate your torso up towards the ceiling and feel a nice stretch alongside your body. And then you can bring both hands to frame your foot and come back into a tabletop. Extend your left foot behind you and really press your heel to the back of the wall. Then step your left foot in between your hands. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Bring your palms together and come into a little back bend here. Bring your hands to your hips and raise your left hand towards the ceiling and bend over to the right side. Switch your arms and then bend over to the left side. Bring your hands back down and step back into your tabletop position. And we'll take this flow a couple more times. Extend your right foot behind you. Place it in between your hands and lift your hands up towards the ceiling, coming into a little back bend. Bring your right hand to your hip and bend over to the right side. Switch hands and bend over to the left side. And drop your hands to the mat and come back into that tabletop position. Extend your left foot behind you. Place it in between your hands. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Come into a little back bend. Bring your right hand to your hip and bend over to the right side. Switch hands and bend over to the left side. Bring your hands back down to the mat and step back into this plank into your tabletop. And you extend your right foot behind you. And this time, see if you can use your glute to lift your right foot up a little bit higher, keeping your hips square and your hip pointers facing down to the mat. And step them in between your hands. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms of your hands together. Come into that back bend. Maybe you go a little bit deeper this time. And maybe you bend deeper into your front leg. Bring your right hand to your hip. Bend over to the right side. Switch hands, bend over to the left side. And this time, bring your hands to the mat and then slowly begin to straighten your front leg, coming into a half split. You want to make sure that your back knee is still stacked underneath your hip. And if you feel any sharp pain behind your right knee, come up on your fingertips. With each inhale, feel your spine get a little bit longer. And with each exhale, see if you can bring your chest a little bit closer to your quads. Take a big inhale here. And then exhale, drop your head towards your knee and round your shoulders forward. And it's okay if your spine rounds here. Rebend your front knee and then come back into that tabletop position. Extend your left foot behind you. Using your glute to lift up your left leg a little bit higher. Make sure you're squeezing your core here by bringing your navel to your spine. And then step that left foot in between your hands. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling, bringing your palms together, coming into a deeper back bend here. You may be bending in your front leg a little more. Bring your hands back up to the ceiling and bring your right hand to your hip and bend over to the right side. Switch hands and bend over to the left side. Drop your hands down to frame your foot and slowly begin to straighten your left leg, keeping a micro bend in your knee and making sure that your back knee is underneath your back hip. And breathe here in this half split. Inhale, feel your spine get a little bit longer and straighter. And then as you exhale, keeping the straightness in your spine, see if your chest can go a little bit closer to your quads. Take a big inhale here, and then exhale, forward fold over that knee, dropping your head, rounding your shoulders and your spine. You feel a nice hamstring stretch, and maybe a calf stretch if you dorsiflex your toes. You can rebend that front knee, and then come back into that tabletop. And if you use the blanket, you can move it aside and then grab your block or your thick book. Come back into tabletop and bring your knees to touch and your feet apart. You're going to place that block right in between your feet and then sit on it, coming into hero pose. Your hands can rest on your quads or to their sides. And in this hero pose, we'll do some twists and some neck rotations. So beginning with your neck rotations, bring your chin to your chest. And then bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Drop your head down your back. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And then bring your chin back to your chest. Taking that on the left side, bring your left ear to your left shoulder, then drop your head down your back. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then bring your chin back to your chest. Your gaze can come back forward. And then take a big inhale and raise your hands up towards the ceiling. And when you exhale, bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee and your right hand right behind you. Your gaze can stay to the side of the wall, or if it feels comfortable, you can bring your gaze over your right shoulder. And with this twist, each time you inhale, you want to feel a little bit taller and feel your crown reach towards the ceiling. And with each exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. We'll be here for about a minute. In your next inhale, bring your hands back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you twist to the left, bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee and your left hand right behind you. Your gaze can stay to the side of the wall, or you can bring it over your left shoulder. Inhale, puff up your chest and get a little bit taller. And exhale, twist a bit deeper. And if it feels good, you can close your eyes here to really focus on lengthening your spine and using your core to twist further to the left. On your next inhale, bring your hands back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, drop them by your side. Now we will transition to our first supported pose, which will be a supported child's pose. And you can bring your block in front of you on a low height, and then take your bolster, your pillow, and place it on your block so it looks like an incline or a little ramp. You can straddle the bolster by bringing your knees to either side of it and then sit back on your heels. And if it feels comfortable, you can take your blanket or your towel and fold it into its smallest square and place that right on top of your bolster. And then you can bring your forehead or your cheek to the bolster. Your hands can come to the sides, so you're in the embryo pose, or you can bring them straight out in front of you. Make sure you choose a pose that is comfortable for you, since we'll be in this posture for about 10 minutes. While you're resting in this supported child's pose, you can do a body scan to see how you're feeling and to see how your body is feeling in this posture. So as you start from your head and work your way down to your toes, take note of how each body part is feeling. And see if you can release some tension that you're feeling by surrendering to the props. And if you have one cheek on the blanket, on your bolster, you can turn to the other cheek now. Slowly begin to lift yourself up, walking your hands closer to your knees. And we'll take our bolster and block, moving it behind us. So you can place the block behind you and then put your bolster on it again in that same ramp or incline that you created. And then come to a seat. Make sure that your sacrum, the place right near your toe bone, is right at the base of the bolster. And then you can bring the soles of your feet together and we'll prepare for a supported bound angle pose. So you can get your towels and blankets together, folding them in half into that small square, and place one blanket underneath one knee and then the other. And then when you're ready, you can recline back onto your bolster. You can rest your hands on your stomach here, or you can bring your hands palm up on the ground to receive energy, or palms facing down to feel a bit grounded this evening. And just begin to get settled in this pose and feel your body melt into the mat and onto your props. And if you happen to fall asleep during this pose, it's totally fine. bring your hands to your knees and gently push them together, closing your legs like a book. And roll over to the left side, right off of your bolster, as you come into the fetal position. And then you can take the bolster that was behind you and place it in between your legs, so your right leg comes on top of it. You can use your left arm as a pillow here, your left bicep. And then begin to roll over on your back, keeping the bolster in between your legs. And twist over to the right side. Now using your right bicep as a pillow. And slowly begin to roll onto your back, removing your bolster. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Looks like my dog Groot wants to join us now. You can grab your block. And then on medium setting, place it right underneath your sacrum, coming into a restorative bridge pose. Now in this restorative bridge, you want to make sure that you can slightly touch the backs of your heels, but if you can't, with your fingers, but if you can't, just make sure that your feet are aligned right underneath your hips. And then lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling and remove the block underneath you. Bring your legs straight down to the mat. Maybe you take your blanket, unfold it, and place it right underneath your head. And make sure that the blanket is touching your shoulders so that your neck and your head are supported. And we'll come into our final pose, which is Shavasana or corpse pose. Just let your hands and your feet relax naturally to their sides. And notice how your breath feels after this gentle yoga practice. Release any tension that you've been storing in your face. And just feel your limbs melt into the mat. See if any of the tension that you noticed when you did your body scan earlier is still afflicting those areas. And just breathe naturally. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bring some life back into your body. Bend your right knee and pull it towards your chest. Then bend your left knee and pull it towards your chest. And roll over to whatever side feels comfortable to you. And And slowly begin to push yourself up into a seat, keeping your eyes closed here if you had them closed or your gaze heavy. And thank yourself for coming to the mat today to do this gentle yoga practice and to prioritize your mental and physical health. You can bring your hands in a prayer position in heart center. The light, the student, and teacher in me honors and recognizes the light, the student, and teacher in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's practice. Lauren, thank you for inviting me to share this gentle yoga practice with everyone.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think the other people can too. That was so relaxing.
Good.
You want to tell people like where they can find your classes?
Oh, sure. Let's see. So I teach virtual classes for Vita. And if you just Google Vita virtual membership, then you can see different options about purchasing a membership. It's $49 a month. You get access to all of the fitness classes that we're offering online. And I teach Vinyasa yoga at 6 a.m. Tuesday mornings. So if you're an early bird, or even if you're not, you can give it a try. And I also just do ad hoc yoga things. And you can follow my Instagram account, which is _yoga Vonda_. And Lauren has that information too. So if you registered for the event, then you'd probably see my IG handle. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. And thanks,
Awesome.
Lauren.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great weekend.
I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
All right, take care.